At first, there was nothing. And then, there were bikes. Everywhere.
Oh my God.
There's something that's called a dockless bike share program.
I leave town for 2 weeks. I come back and the whole city is flooded with this rainbow of bicycles.
Last summer, thousands of bikes showed up on Seattle sidewalks. No racks, no stations. Just unlock it with an app and leave it anywhere. Now, free-floating bike startups are flooding the sidewalks in cities all around the country. Bike shares have a checkered history, but could they work this time? The concept of the bike share started in Amsterdam in the 1960s with a group of anarchists called Provo. Provo scattered a bunch of free white bikes around the city.
Provos say it's better than jamming streets made for horses and carts with cars and lorries.
Here's a couple who got married with a Provo bike. Look at this long-haired chap riding a Provo. The white bikes didn't catch on, but the principle behind it lingered. If people had a bike in front of them, they might ride it. And maybe this could be the key to fighting traffic and air pollution. The next iteration was the docked bike share system. Swipe a card, take a bike from the rack, ride it to one of the other docks in the city and lock it back up. But these systems are expensive, and cities often foot a lot of that bill. Plus, people can only ride to and from specific spots. Docked bike share systems do work in some cities like New York or DC, but in others, like Seattle, those bikes are just collecting dust in a warehouse. Which brings us to now, the dockless bike share. Look at these bikes. Sleek, colorful. Docks? Please. This one even has a battery. They're typically found where people want to go. If they're not, companies can move them around town strategically. These bikes are funded by venture capitalists or larger companies like the Chinese conglomerate Alibaba, fighting for the market with dirt cheap prices and an abundance of bikes.
It's bringing people onto bicycles who might not have ridden bikes before. They're not going after the mammals, the middle-aged men in Lycra.
We're not excluding the mammals, but we think this has potential for a lot of other communities.
So are we beginning to see the bike sharing utopia that Provo dreamed of? Probably not, because they hated capitalism. But are these bikes the key to solving traffic, pollution, even climate change? Well, it all depends on what someone's giving up. Let's take my coworker Eve, for example. Eve usually takes public transportation to work. So replacing that transit with a bike trip has less of a benefit than if she were replacing a car commute. Hua Tai, a scientist at Purdue University in Indiana, uses trip length to estimate how much carbon these bike shares are actually saving us. For short commutes under half a mile, lots of people walk. But when a commute stretches beyond 3 miles, people are way more likely to drive. Because longer bike share trips are often replacing cars, they're more likely to be better for the environment. Bike shares in Shanghai likely saved the city as much as 25,000 metric tons of CO2 in 2016, according to one study. That's like saving almost 3 million gallons of gas. But it's not just about having bikes. Infrastructure, people, regulations, and economics are also critical in making a bike share system work. Some companies are clashing with cities over their bikes cluttering public sidewalks.
If they don't do what he said, they're going to pick up the bikes and move them.
So the city does.
Pound, right?
Others are finding it hard to get a foothold amid the fierce competition. Meanwhile, a few companies are moving beyond bikes to scooters. Lime and Uber are rolling out new scooter programs, and Spin is so into scooters, they didn't even want to talk to Grist about their bikes. Let us know if you'd be interested in covering a story on scooters, and I can try to set something up. And electric scooters could be the future. They're lighter, they're smaller, they can go farther on a charge.
You know, literally a year ago, these bikes came in to our city, and now they're being disrupted already.
If dockless bike shares can stay afloat, maybe they'll change how people move around the city. Or maybe they're just another stepping stone in the evolution of urban mobility.